Welcome. My name is Darlene Zibel, and this is 7 Minutes to Business Success. In this episode, I'm going to talk about what's in an employee handbook. Whether you have one employee or 1,000 employees, an employee policy handbook and a policy that you create around it can help protect you from a lot of liability. There's a lot of items that go into an employee handbook. So in this little 7 minute to business success, it's going to take a few extra minutes. And you're going to want to save this video because you're going to come back to it from time to time. The first thing that I typically put in an employee handbook is the vision and mission statement of the company. This way, every employee who comes into the company and into the firm understands what my vision and mission is for the entire organization. I also put an equal opportunity statement in there. Now, I have to warn you, before you start just creating these, you should get legal advice or work with an HR, a human resources consultant who's experienced in creating your policy handbook. Another statement that's in there that I put in, and this, again, you'll have to verify legally, is that every employee who comes to work for me comes to work for me at will. Then I describe what's the purpose of the handbook and just do a little summary of what the other items are that they're going to review in the handbook and handbook policy itself. So I talk about the policies and the procedures of how the company operates. What does it mean for them as an employee? I outline what are their standard work hours, what the attendance expectations are, when their meal and break periods are, if their work hours are going to be from home or on site, especially today after the pandemic, a lot of people are working from home. What does that mean? Overtime policy, if they work overtime and they're hourly. Timekeeping and payroll procedures. When is the payroll system operate? When will they get paid? What are some of the timekeeping procedures and what the employee has to do to get the information that they need into the payroll system? I also outline what some of the performance reviews are going to be, how promotions work. If there's a weapons restriction, depending upon where your business is, what's that policy from bringing weapons to work? Drug policies, alcohol, will there be any drug or alcohol testing? What are some of the personal safety issues, depending upon the type of business that you're in? If you're in an office business, personal safety can still be important. How do you protect the employee from anybody just walking in and trying to take over the room? What is your policy on telephone and email use from work? Can they use their email address? Or can they take the time to access the computer equipment in your company for them to access their personal emails? What websites can they access directly from your server? How are you going to handle social media? Can they put comments out using your company name on social media? And how will you enforce that? Will they be able to use the company logo? Will they be able to use the company name? What are your expectations from your employees using social media? What are some of the parameters around termination? Again, all of these items should be reviewed with professional legal advice and, if possible, an HR consultant. Some attorneys can create the policy handbook for you. Depending on the size of your organization, you may want an attorney to review it and then use an HR consultant to create it. Next section of the employee policy handbook is what are all the benefits? What are the standard holidays where the business will be closed? Will they be paid? What is the vacation and time off policy? Are you going to give a specific number of days based on seniority, or are you going to have a time off program where they can select the days? What is the disability policy? Personal leave. What if they have a family emergency leave? Bereavement, jury duty, paid time off. Which of these features will you be paying for their time off? What insurance will you be providing? Will they have to pay 100% for it? Or is the company going to pay a portion of it? What are some of the pension plans? What pension plan, if any, are you going to offer? Training programs, will you reimburse them for outside training? Workman's comp and unemployment. Workman's comp is something that you as an employer will have to provide for the employees. What's the policy? What other insurance are you going to have for unemployment? You have to follow the unemployment laws of your state and federal in the United States. Another good area to put in the policy handbook is what's workplace safety. How are you going to provide them with safety? What do you expect them to, how to participate in safety? And then procedures. What are some of the code of ethics of your firm? Discipline. How are you going to handle discipline? What are the exit processes if they want to terminate? And finally, one of the most important things of every policy handbook is they have to sign an acknowledgement that they read it and understand it. And this again has to go back to your legal advisors creating these documents for you or your HR consultant. Because I also expect, as I had in previous videos, you have to have a non-disclosure agreement with your employee. And you don't want one thing that they're signing to violate or change something else that they're signing. So make sure any documents that your employees are signing in your organization are all coherent and not one is offsetting the other so that you're liable for something else that could happen. I can't speak about this feature enough and how important it is to protect you yourself as the business owner. Again, if you're hiring one employee or 1,000, this is crucial to the success of your organization. I can't tell you how many people have come to me for advice over the years who described what happened when they only had 1 or 2 employees in their company who literally tried to sue them and take over the organization, all of which could have been avoided if there was a policy in place that each person agreed to before they came on board and accepted the job. Don't skip on this feature. This can absolutely make or break your organization to success. 85% of all small businesses fail in this country before year 5. And that number hasn't changed in over 2 decades. I love to look at the US Census data. And this information you can also get by just going to uscensus.gov or taking a look at some of the other SBA websites that provides this information. There are a lot of reasons why companies fail. Please don't fail because you have a successful business with happy clients and you have an employee that's unhappy and could, really force you out of business. I've seen this happen to other small businesses. It's really sad. Could be totally avoided if you invested the money to do this right from the beginning. I'm wishing you the best business success in the world. Please send me some questions, leave comments. Let me know your thoughts on this, how this is working for you. And include other questions that you may want featured in future videos, and I'll answer them for you. Wishing you the best business success in the world. Thank you for joining me. Bye now.